Well, Mike, we all know the DMV makes us go through certain tests to get our driver's license, and to get a truck driver's license is harder, as it should be. Well, prosecutors say this was really an elaborate corruption scheme, and some of the workers at this DMV almost got away with it.
Deciding who gets to operate heavy rigs on our roads and highways is not something the New York Department of Motor Vehicles should take lightly.
Bypassing that safeguard is far from a harmless shortcut. It is a dangerous threat to public safety.
But that's exactly what prosecutors here in Nassau County allege in a 51-count felony indictment against 7 different people, including a supervisor at this DMV in Garden City, Cashapp Middleton, and her sister, Jamie Middleton, allegedly taking at least 10 different permit tests for no-show drivers. You can see Jamie in surveillance pictures wearing different disguises, even fake facial hair, as she posed as a man who would be applying for a commercial driving permit. But she forgot to take off her fake nails.
I think it's pretty poor. The fingernails kind of gave it away.
So did another supervisor who acted as the whistleblower. Prosecutors say the defendants charged as much as $3,000 per permit test, 2 of them working these counters so they could wave the phony test taker through. 3 of the drivers who paid the fee ended up with commercial permits, but only 1 passed his road test, James Nurse, who ended up working here at the Town of Hempstead Recycling Center, where he spent over a year and a half driving a truck.
A government employee, licensed only through a lie, driving a massive truck through our streets.
Back here at the DMV, where everyone else jumps through the usual bureaucratic roadblocks just to get a permit or real ID.
That is very disgusting.
It's not safe, so it shouldn't be allowed.
Although some more cynical, not at all surprised.
I understand why someone might do it. I understand the frustration in trying to do it legally. Then you know what? Maybe we'll put mustaches on and put funny hats on and try to go around and beat it that way. And for a while, by the way, it worked.
Yeah, well, now those workers are facing a host of charges, including felonies.
So let me say this real quick. I just want to spot the main thing, because I expected something vastly different, right? Out of all of the people there that decided to speak on this, I want people to understand and hear that you heard a lot of immigrants. Oh no, this shouldn't be allowed. This, that, and the third. Right? The main ones who get help coming to the United States. The main ones who are placed here in order to replace Black Americans. Right? Whenever it is that it's time for businesses to hire Black folks because they got to fit a quota, when that used to be a thing, instead of them hiring us, they would literally ship over and expedite the process of immigration when it deals with Africans and many others, because at the end of the day, they fit as Black. So they're fitting 2 quotas. They fit as Black and they also count as an immigrant, right? So they're fitting 2 different areas directly right there, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Again, notice how they're the ones that wanted to speak and have that type of voice. But the main person that I realistically thought was going to really go in did not do so. Had a whole different outlook. And he was like, you know what? I actually understand, right? You go through life, in a sense, and I'm paraphrasing, right? But you go through life and you try to do things the legal way. You try to do it the main way that the government, everybody else tells you to do, but you always get roadblock after roadblock, red tape after red tape, deny after deny after deny after deny. And then it just gets to the point where you want to all right, well, let me try something different. Let me see if this actually works. And then you find out that actually works. And it's crazy to see that one person out of all people to, in a sense, have a different out. Not saying that he agrees with it, but pointing out the fact that the system that is in place has made it vastly difficult for people to want to do things the tried and true, quote unquote, straight way. Right? Again, as we've been told directly through life, is like, hey, if you work, yourself to the bone, if you put in the time, if you put in the hours, if you put in the schooling, you put in the education, you do this, you do that, you're going to sit up there and have the best things out of life. And that was all a lie. Slowly but surely, a lot of people are realizing everything that we were taught was just a lie. You have a lot of people right now that went directly through high school and they went directly to college, and a lot of those folks are directly in debt. Yeah, they got the job, but now they have massive amounts of debt of which they still have to pay for. And I'm not even saying that they're paying off the whole debt. They're paying off the wrapper. They're paying off the plastic on the debt, not actually touching the main debt that is there. And not only that, but also while trying to pay off debt, more debt in a sense gets added directly on. So it's like you don't really get a chance to catch up. And then on top of having that debt, you have your other bills and other life things that come up, just because. So, it's a very, Herculean type of task to really get through and live life in a way that people will say like, oh, you're going about things the right way and this, that, and the third. This is why you have a lot of people out here that decide to cheat their way, decide to scam, because that seems to be the only method that actually works directly out here. And I want to point out this thing too. The one guy that they listed had the city job working for waste management, driving a truck. I want to note that, again, you did have the people there that cheated for him on the test, but when it came to the physical, when it came to the driving test, he passed it. So which means that he, in a sense, was actually meant for that job. He could actually do the job. He was just having a problem directly with the test for whatever reason. It was just the paperwork. That was the problem. If the test was just like, okay, if we train you or whatever it is and we put you in this truck, we need to see if you can go to point A to point B, if you can pack it. I mean, not, pack it, but if you can park it and do all of these things, if you can do that, then you got the job. Stuff used to actually be that simple. But as I told a lot of people before, things start getting more and more difficult once you have different people coming into different job positions. This is what they like to do. They like to put paperwork and test in order to bar certain people directly from these jobs. And case of point that I'm going to bring up that's a little bit close to this sort of kind of is the example of, working some of these temp jobs. If anybody, I can't speak for any other state, right? I can't speak for any other city. I can just specifically speak on Detroit, Michigan, because that's, again, where I ended up doing a temp agency job. Now, originally, I remember that people said that for these temp agencies, you would just, sign your name or whatnot or whatever, maybe have an interview or yada, yada, yada. And then they would, either call you back or let you know then and there if you were qualified or if they wanted you directly for the job or if they had a site for you to go to. The moment in time that I decided to go there, and it was with, a few family members, it was vastly different. They had us doing math. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. So you have me doing a math test for a physical labor job. How does that even make any type of sense? You got some of the smart, I just want people to understand this, right? You got some of the smartest people out here, but they're not physically capable. Just because they're mentally smart does not mean that their body could really take the impact of physical labor, the wherewithal, have the willpower and everything of that sort to really muscle through a lot of those things, right? So again, you have to look at specifically what it is that they are doing. They look at how the city or the school system and all of these things work. And then from that, they take on the percentage game. And they try to figure out, okay, well, let's see how we can make sure, like, yeah, we got money. Yeah, we do have jobs, but we're not going to, we can't specifically say that we only want a certain type of people for these jobs. So how can we find a way to bar people from this without people saying that it's racist? No problem. We're going to start putting tests and different things up there that have nothing to actually do with the job. Again, I want people to understand, it was nothing but a math test. It was, the main divisions. It was fractions. I think they might have thrown some algebra or something directly in there. But it was a straight math test. And I think, how many pages was it? Was it about 2 front back, two or 4? I think it was like maybe 2 pages front back. And I'm like, you have to be kidding me. Like, yo, I just want to be here. I'm just trying to lift. I'm not trying to use any brain power. Like, yo, I just want to sit up there and push, pull, lift, clean up. Like, I'm want to actually work. But again, this is what they do, right? They try to find a variety of ways in order to get, especially, and I can only speak for the Black community. This is mainly what they do in black communities. And I'm not sure if other people have talked about it in the other communities that they are in. I'm talking about black Americans. But I can tell you that more times than not, this is something that you would normally see. In other areas, if they have a job up there, they have a job up there. They're not about to put you through hoops and loops and all these other types of tests because they want to employ their people. They want to give money to their people. They want to, be able to help their people directly out. They don't want to help out anybody else, but they want to make sure to help out their own people. And again, like I said before, that's the thing that is highly confusing directly to me, because the most interesting thing is that when it deals with black Americans, right, and us trying to just move through and trying to go to point A to point B, trying to live a very simple life. Let's say if we have a business or we have a contract for a job, we need to hire some people, we're going to hire people. We're not trying to sit up there and set up hoops and loops and trying to, push people directly away because we don't want the white folks here. We just want this, that. Nah, we'll just sit up there and hire people. If you are actually, able to do the work, then you're able to do the work. If not, you're going to get fired, and somebody's going to be here to replace you pronto. No ifs, ands, or buts. Like I said, I like that method because it makes complete sense. Those who can work, those who want to do the work, right, should be able to work. Those who are just there for, let's say, a paycheck and they're not doing anything, they can't even do the job at all, get rid of them. They're a waste of space. Somebody else could very easily be doing that job. They're just wasting time, wasting energy, wasting resources. Like I said before, you have people that are placed here for certain reasons, and you got other people that are just examples. But I think I might have went off on a little bit of tangent, might have got away from the actual point, but all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, this is specifically how the world is. And the one main thing that I've learned in life, that a lot of the people that are quote unquote well-to-do and got the college education and all this other type of stuff, a lot of people are in groups. And because they're in groups and their groups run certain sections or areas, that allows them to actually get jobs, right? It doesn't mean that those people are 100% qualified, but because they have somebody that is there in a certain position, they can, hobnob and, shake some hands and all this other type of stuff and just have a conversation. All right, no problem. See me on Monday and I'll see what we can do. Versus if I decided to roll directly up there for that job and I can or could be qualified, I would have to go through hell and high water to even get that type of conversation, to get that type of engagement with, quote unquote, a higher up and whatnot or whatever. So all I'm saying is, realistically, it's about who you know versus how much effort and how much work you directly put in. Right, that's been one of the main lies that people have given to us over time. This is why you got so many people wanting to join these groups, wanting to join fraternities and all this other type of stuff. It's not a form of togetherness. It's because they know that if they are linked in with these groups of people, then multiple doors are going to be specifically open, versus if they were just out here doing it by themselves and seeing what it is that they can accomplish. That's all it is. That's realistically the whole main point of all of these fraternities, right? You got to do a lot of things and all this other type of stuff in order to step foot directly through that door. But once you're through that door, you are through that door. And the world, or at least a portion of it, is open specifically for you that normally wouldn't be open otherwise. So like I said, I understand why you have videos like this where you got people out here, trying to quote unquote cheat the system, because the system cheats them no matter how it is that they decide to go about it, no matter how straight and narrow they go down the road and they try to just like, hey, I'm going to do what everybody tells me to do, and I'm going to manage this, I'm going to manage that, and they still lose. It's only so many times that people are willing to take a loss before they're like, yo, I'm about to sit up there and take my win. Not earn it. I'm about to take that win. The same way that, any type of thing that they were going for was always taken from them one way or another. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that's stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.